Welcome back. Let's start with the good. Education has long been a fave, and we saw it in this week's results from both Stadio and Advitech, Curro the week before. Here's Stadio's CEO, Chris Foster.
I think the demand for higher education is ever increasing, and with the new unemployment rates also showing that only 9% of graduates are unemployed, really, strengthen that demand for higher education.
And from Advitech, here's new CEO, Jeff White.
We've tried to make our fees as affordable as possible by taking increases in line with inflation or slightly below. So we're trying to make our offer as affordable as possible.
David, this has been, and we can bring Curro in, which was last week, and Curro perhaps the lagger of the three. But it's a good space, and these were decent numbers.
Credit to Chris, he's done incredibly well.
Remember when you tried to buy Advitech?
Yeah, but he's built up Curro, because he moved from Curro to Stadio.
Yeah.
But he's been a superb businessman and done an incredible job. I know initially Curro went up to like a 200 people and so on, but it's come back now, and he's delivered exactly what he said he would. And I think all the three of those companies stand out. Even Stadio, I've been a bit not cynical watching. They've still got a lot of capex to spend, to get themselves up to where they want to. But they've got good management, and they provide a good product.
They provide a product which, look, we've got some good universities in this country, UCT, WITS, RAO, UJ, UKZN, and I'm leaving your university out and I apologize. But there's not enough seats. That's the short answer, which is where these folks step in. And, Advitech's getting their degrees classified as degrees. They're becoming universities.
I've credit to them. And it shows in the chart. I mean, it shows in the
that Advitech one. And
Just it's one of these businesses that you can buy, and close your eyes and buy them. They've delivered what they said, and good luck. And things are getting better here. By better, I mean it's going to become more affordable. And also, they're in tertiary education, giving this is Advitech, giving those kind of courses where people want, whether it's cooking or sewing or
skills, rather than learning how to be.
That's a nice way to put it.
A historian. Apologies to my wife.
BA sociology, BA psychology.
That's my wife. Do not. She's a lecturer at WITS. Step away from the microphone, David. Implats. They're actually managing what they can well. Costs under control, production and sales up nicely, but it's all about price. And that was down 30%, which left a 20 billion write-down hole in their account. Interestingly, without the write-down, they would have actually managed a modest profit. They would have come in about 3 billion. So sales were up, production up 13%, sales up 60%, so they got some stockpile. Costs under control, but price down 30%. You can't fight that.
You had rhodium and palladium, as well as, platinum stayed where it is, but it's part of the basket. The concern is the outlook.
Well, exactly.
And that's worrying.
What outlook?
That's a problem. There's no suggestion that those prices are going to roar and pick up. And it's an important part of the SA economy. I think not only from an employment point of view, you miss the complete multiplier effect. Once you start laying off people, it has an enormous impact on the surrounding area, on the people themselves. It's not only the mine that makes money or at this stage is battling. So it's one of the concern areas. When we get ultra bullish about South Africa, this one area worries me.
And is it PGMs, or is it also, would you throw iron ore and copper? Because certainly, gold's doing fine. But
the iron ore, they've got the margins, but they can't expand. That's a problem. All the iron ore bulls say, 100, we say we're going to 80, we never go to 80, we go back to 120. And it's probably happened in the past, but you can't take anything for granted. You've got to be very careful. Coal's another area which has underperformed. So from my point of view, while we get very bullish about South Africa, this area I watch carefully. And for that, you look to China.
Well, that's the problem. So that's the problem with PGMs, with commodities generally, but PGMs, it's EVs, it's hybrids. I mean, I don't look out at the PGM, and I know the theory, it's cyclical and it will recover. But I mean, there's a lot of headwinds in that particular space.
In all of them. Copper's been picking up lately as well, and the whole view from copper is, yes, there's an oversupply at the moment, but that will run out. Don't bet on those things. The one thing in commodities, don't think you know what's happening.
And we saw Billiton, he's saying
Yes.
copper's our future. We saw
Yes,
South 32
yes,
saying
yes.
it's all copper.
Yeah, I
So
know. That's commodity markets are notoriously difficult to read, and for us, it's incredibly important. Yeah.
Yep, so just hold gold. What the heck? Barbarous relic. Then there's Master Drilling, who were seeing clients wanting speed over price on new projects, but they got hit with an asset write-down that makes no sense. Here's CFO Andre van Deventer being polite about the weirdness that is accounting.
It's something that has been coming the last couple of years. It's new technology that we've developed. We've put the equipment on a couple of projects. Last project was at Mogalakwena, which ended last year sometime. We're busy refurbishing the equipment and getting it ready to put it into the market. But today we don't have a signed contract and can show positive cash flow benefits out of it. So we really don't have an option then to impair the equipment. So, that doesn't mean we're not going to use it. We're marketing it all the time, and hopefully in the next year we'll get a profitable contract and we can put it back on the balance sheet again.
Was weird. I mean,
You're not earning anything on it, therefore you have to write it down.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you're not making income on an asset that you have, conventional accounting says write it down unless you can sell it or something like that. So he says once we bring it back, yes,
Yeah, they
we
write
can
it back
reverse,
in.
We write it back in as well, which is, it is rather weird accounting. But they've got in other words, they've got an asset that's not doing anything. It's like a building that's empty.
Yeah, okay. I got to say, I spoke to Donnie Pretorius, the CEO, and he made a really telling point. He said what they're seeing from clients, he said in the years gone, the last decade, it's been about price. How cheaply can you do it? Now the question is, how quickly can you do it? They want to get, and obviously it's commodities that are in demand and the price is right. They do a lot of gold, a lot of silver, nickel, zinc. At the right price, folks are saying, don't mind the price. I just want to get those ounces out of the ground.
Well, it takes forever, especially those deep, like South Deep. I remember when it was launched. And I think
20 years ago?
More, please, man. Keep adding. I think at the time when Sun City was built or something. Not the Palace. The Palace. When was the Palace built?
Late 80s.
Yep. Go look. That's where South Deep. And I remember going to a presentation where we were told how difficult it was to actually give air conditioning down 4 kilometers. I'm still battling.
It's still difficult.
That's mining. And it takes a long time to get to those ore bodies. I know we've got plenty of those ore bodies still existing.
Sure.
But you gotta have, do you do it? Do you take a risk?
Yeah, and the miners have changed. Hey? They've gone from folks in boots and hard hats to accountants.
To accountants, and with AI.
Too many CAs in the world. More good news, Bidcorp. This is a business machine with excellent European profits, and even South Africa doing well, China to a lesser degree. Australia and New Zealand struggle here. CFO David Cleesby talking us through local trading conditions.
Our businesses, tend to focus on the consumer, and the more disposable income the consumer can get, hopefully they'll spend that on eating out of home. And so, it all bodes well. We're not seeing anything just yet. It's still obviously tough. Our interest rates are up, but we're optimistic that, if interest rates do come off a little bit, and certainly the optimism around the political situation has increased significantly, and hopefully that'll translate into consumer spending, and we'll be a beneficiary of that.
196 billion revenue, wow.
It's a simple business. As you say, they deliver little packets of sugar to restaurants but they do it well. They do it consistently well. So you're not going to get AI type profits out of this, artificial intelligence or technology, but you can't fault them, globally. They're really, really a good business. I keep harping back to which I said on Wednesday night, to the culture that was inculcated by someone like Brian Joffe, years ago when he started in '87. I know that they've got new management and management are doing well, but it's almost like a business case. If you want to study, just look at a business like this.
And it's still, that culture is still there.
Yeah, the culture's still there. So, and the expansion is always organic, well thought out. There's no Wild West type buying and something like
How
this.
many little gems do you have to sell
Yeah.
to make 196 billion? On the flip side of local is lacquer, Itatal struggled as consumers step back from DIYing their homes and imports come in cheap as they try to gain market share, which is hurting everyone. And then there is their LNG supply from Sasol, supposed to end June 26. They've been given an extra year. Here's CEO Lawrence Foxcroft on the new competition and their response.
So there's a great oversupply of ceramic tiles into the market at the moment. And to that end, we don't think we'll have any major capex in terms of opening new factories or building new sites. We will continue to open stores, predominantly in the top tier space, to make sure we are close to our customers. And we'll continue to invest in the latest technology out of factories to make sure we have the right technology to make new products and exciting products for our customers.
Really tough, and there's two parts to it. Well, actually, there's three parts, right? One is a consumer who did all their DIYing back in lockdown, so there was pull forward, and now hasn't got any money left. Also, no home sales, so no one's got a new house to fix up. And then they've got the frontline states which have got production coming on who are dumping, and then Sasol. We'll come to Sasol. I mean, is this a stock you look at and you say, you know what, as things improve?
Definitely, because they've got the history. They know how to run it. And if you read their commentary, they're always open and honest. They're not hiding anything.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so important that you can actually understand their accounts when they do publish them. So they tell you how it is, and credit to them. They're a well-run business, and when things do improve, look, I've got to say, I'm not one of those people. If I could lay tiles, yes, I'd try and do it myself, but not my skill. And I suppose that you need that kind of money, you know. And if people haven't got the money to add on the extra room or to do their,
because it is slightly. This is not a tin of paint, which you and I could but wouldn't.
Well,
I know. I tried it once. It was terrible. This is perhaps a little bit higher up that curve. Their LNG problem. So Sasol turns them off in 3 years.
Yeah, I know. They'll find something. I hope. You know,
I spoke with Lance. He says, "Look, we got plans. We got plans."
I'm sure they have.
The question is, what's the price? But
well, that whole Sasol story is also a bit of a worry.
Oh yeah.
They're giving you 3 years, but 3 years that goes fast.
Yeah, that does go fast. And finally, a 38-year-old would-be thief was arrested in Rome after he had stopped to read a book while busy robbing a house. The 71-year-old homeowner, who was awakened by noises, found the thief engrossed in a book, who then tried to escape out the window but was arrested and has claimed they thought it was a B&B. But the book was Gods at 6 o'clock, an adaptation of Homer's Iliad from the perspective of the gods. Not sure what's going on here, confusing, but I suppose if you're a thief, stay focused.
He was battling with the Iliad, can you imagine?
Well, this is a Iliad from the perception of the gods rather than from her. It's like,
anyway,
it's
lovely story.
a mess. We'll leave it there. David, thank you. Hopefully back with Bright next week. Everyone have a great evening and an excellent weekend.